Well, good morning. Got a little late. Well, to recap a little bit, I don't know what the hell I said last night, because as you could tell, I was pretty irritated with my fellow hiker buddy. But we camped at Ash Camp. It was actually a nice little place. It was kind of in the woods, a little shelter from the wind. And this morning we got to hike 2 miles. I think it was 1,000-foot elevation climb, which I'm climbing right now, to Roan Mountain Shelter, highest shelter on the Appalachian Trail. I'm gonna see there's a full moon, but it's not gonna show. Full moon to my right, and the sun's coming up on the left. So anyway, I woke up at 4, had to use the restroom. Of course, that cold air just woke me right up, and I got back in the tent and said, hell with it. I'm gonna go hiking. So when I get to the shelter, I'm gonna eat breakfast, make some hot oatmeal and a cup of hot tea, and wait on these pricks behind me. Well, I made it to the Roan Mountain Shelter. Here it is, highest shelter on the Appalachian Trail. And there's a couple tents here. They got no camping signs everywhere, but nobody's in this shelter. And of course, it's dark as hell in here, but there's my food. I'm getting ready to heat me some water and have breakfast. There's actually you can see that there's a loft up here, and I took a peek. There's nobody up there camping or sleeping. But I'm out of the wind, man. It is windy, and there's a tent out there, and then there's a couple right there. It looks like they're coming in here too. So anyway, I'm gonna have me a cup of tea and have me some breakfast. Alright, I'm leaving the Roan Mountain Shelter, and these youngsters just got out of bed, and I've already hiked 2 miles and about to hit it again. We'll see you down the trail.
See you, buddy. See ya.
Well, it's about 9:20. Just leaving the Roan Mountain Shelter. Cooked some oatmeal, had a cup of hot tea, filled up my water bottles, and as I mentioned earlier, there were 2 tents set up, or maybe 3. So there was 3 young couples, and they all just about 9 o'clock came in the shelter to start eating, cooking their breakfast. But man, there was a thermometer in that shelter, and it said 35. And they said they were cold last night, and that wind up top is whipping. That campsite we had was much better. I don't think it got near that cold. But I'm heading down the mountain to Carver's Gap, which when you cross the highway, that's the beginning of the Roan Mtn Highlands, and I'll be in the Balds. So there will be views as long as it stays sunny all day long. And I'm ready to get down a little bit because it is cold. Actually, it's not bad, it's just the wind. It's like a 15-20 mile an hour wind. And never saw Tommy and Steve And I told those young folks, they said they're going to be there quite a while, to let them know where I am and what I'm doing. So I'll show you the views here shortly. I forgot to mention, from the shelter down to Carver's Gap is all downhill. So I've been going downhill. I think it's a 1.5 to 2 miles till you get to the Carver's Gap. And there's a parking lot there. And usually the first mile of AT there is pretty touristy because there's a parking lot. And it's just wide open. It's just balls. It's beautiful. And we are gonna luck out. We got sunshine. Can't wait. Probably lay out in the sun for a while. Just saw a couple guys coming up and they had jackets and hats on, but they had shorts. I told them, I said, dude, it's 35 degrees and 20-mile-an-hour winds up top. And he looked at me kind of, got big-eyed, and he said, we're not staying long. So I still have my wind pants on, which I never wear. And I got two shirts on, wool cap, hood, and it's pretty chilly. Typically, I can't stand hiking in a puffy. I get too hot, but not right now. Well, I made it to Carver's Gap, and I am ascending up to the Roan Highlands. Got to climb for about a mile or so before you start to see anything. But I'll show you the views. Here's some lower level views. Well, it's about 12:30. We've been descending the last, I don't know, mile. And Tommy and Steve caught up with me. It's right at the top of the Highlands. I had stopped and took so many pictures and videos, and then I started hiking with this older couple, and they asked me if I was YouTube, and they saw me. And I said, yeah, and they were asking me a lot of questions about through hiking. And so anyway, Tommy and Steve came up and said just right in front of me. There's a shelter coming up. We're probably gonna stop there and get some lunch. Man, it's heated now that we descended. I'm burning up. Well, we stopped at the shelter, had a break for about 20 minutes. Hell, I had to charge my phone up. And we got 2 miles to the Over Mountain shelter. So anyway, we got that shelter, we'd done 7 miles. There was some big climbing again, 2 mountains. And we hadn't decided where we're staying tonight. Over Mountain Shelter has this giant grassy tent site area, but it is windy, and you know, when that wind hit, it is cold. Well, we made it to the Over Mountain Shelter. I don't know if it's going to show the sun. It's that's condemned now. That barn, that's a famous shelter on the AT. And here's my tent. And Tommy's right next to me, and then Steve's on the other side. And check this view out, though. And we should have a great sun. It's not going to sunset right over, but I'm sure we'll get a nice glare off those mountains in the morning and the night. And actually, that's where we're going tomorrow. We're going to be hiking all the way up here and out there tomorrow. So we'll have about 9.5 miles tomorrow to finish up. And Tommy's buying us all a beer at the Mountain Harbor Hostel.
And a pizza.